What are we doing?
We're introducing
what just
ourselves
happened?
for the first episode.
Oh my God, we're so rusty.
Welcome
Well,
everyone
I'm
to Walking
rusty. Welcome everyone to Walking After Whiskey. I'm Shorty.
And I'm Travis. We're going to break down your latest episode of The Walking Dead tonight.
We're also going to break down some very appropriate bourbon whiskey.
Absolutely.
And I literally bought this for the bottle.
We're also going to break down season 11, episode 13, titled Warlords. And the whiskey we're going to break down is...
It's The Walking Dead, Spirits of the Apocalypse.
At least there's spirits in the apocalypse.
Yes, that's what's going to keep everyone going. And apparently the opium.
Yeah, for the come down. Cheers to the come down.
Cheers.
It is definitely growing on me for sure.
Oh, that kind of burnt my eyes a little bit though.
As my tolerance goes up, hers is like
maybe my eyes were like too close to the way it kind of burnt my eyes a little bit.
The cotton ball on top of the bottle might have got you.
So this was a phenomenal episode.
Absolutely.
This was a great episode. I'm done with the whole backstory. I'm done with Eugene. I'm done with his drama. This gets back to what we love the most about Walking Dead.
Yep. So the episode starts up, and Lydia's leaving Hilltop, and she's like, "Why are you leaving?" Well, sorry. As she's going to walk out to the Commonwealth, Ethan makes a note to her like, "Hey, are you going too?" Because everyone basically has been one by one leaving to go to the Commonwealth, to an actual society, civilization. Everyone's tired of just getting by. Everyone's tired of just, maybe we just starve for 2 more weeks and then maybe we get some rice tomorrow. Maybe let's try that. She's like, I'm fucking done. I'm done. And so it is sort of.
So now it's date night in the apocalypse. So
Ethan says, "Do you need someone to walk you there?"
Well, his friend's encouraging, like, "Dude, this is your shot, man. Come on now, take the shot." So he does. He's like, "Hey, girl, hey, do you need Can I walk you? Can I walk you to your car?" Type of situation. So it's very sweet, and then all kind of shit hits the fan because, of course, it's the apocalypse.
Sad in the comic books. Carl and Lydia had a huge like relationship going on, and that's what started the whole war because of how tight they were. It became Henry in the show, which is kind of crappy, but they actually had a really cool love story, good love story arc. And now to see Lydia now in this show, she never really had a love story arc with Ethan, kind of, sorta. But now she's like, "Why do you want to walk me?" And he's like, "Because I got a wiener."
She's testing him. She's making sure that he's going to have the right answer. And he kind of fucks up for half a second. His buddy actually on the wall is like, "Dude, come on, man, come on." And then then all the magic happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, she tested him and he failed.
Yeah. And she kind of she thought it was sweet and endearing. And then so Maggie basically wants to ask her first, like, "Hey, how about we talk about this?" And then this whole conversation about I got by with my mom my whole life.
Well, you missed the key point, which was the kid from later in the show is on a horse.
Jesse.
And not happening and dies, but he's got the whole thing in his hand, so there's a little mystery going on. There's a lot of mystery in the show and a little bit of flashback action, which is kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah, but very much a very Walking Dead like oblivious. So Jesse comes in like, "Hey, we're gonna shoot you if you don't acknowledge yourself," and the guy's like falls off his horse, basically dead.
Right.
They check him and he puts a book in their hands. The guy looks like a Mormon going door to door, and they're like, "Hey, you're not coming to our door. Can't knock on our doors. It's not Saturday." And they take his little book on him and he's bleeding. And then so they give it to Maggie. He says, "Give this to Maggie." Like the person knew Maggie for whatever reason was in his head. They go in there and then Lydia like, "Hey, well, I don't know why he's dying, but we're gonna go help him before I go to Commonwealth." Like, okay, we could be a trap. 1,000 people could have killed him. Like, we're gonna go help these people. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
And I really like that. I mean, now that I like Lydia, like in her growing into her own, she's very honest with Maggie. Like they're taking this car ride to go figure out like what's going on. So they get in this car ride and Lydia's just really honest with Maggie. She basically calls her out. Like, you made the decision for all of us not to join Commonwealth. Like, that was your decision. And I really like that Lydia was, I mean, her whole point of view is, I've had to fight for everything my entire life. Like, I'm done fighting. That's why she wanted to leave.
Right.
And Ethan kind of backs her up. I don't know if he just wanted to get some, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But it makes Maggie think, and then she's not paying attention. And oddly enough, there's shit on the road, apparently, in the apocalypse where you can actually get into an accident when you're not paying attention.
Yeah, for that split second of time.
It's like texting and driving.
There's 3 Commonwealth soldiers that are basically walkers now, walking towards the truck. They get out. They service them pretty quickly, get them killed, but they're like, okay, these are, you know, they were slashing their necks. So like basically this was a surgical kill. Like whoever did this, you know, knew what to do with these guys, right? And so like these guys were surgically killed. Okay, what's going on? Then up the street, they see that Aaron's running up the street. Like, what? Here comes Aaron, right, with his big old mace in her hand.
Yeah. So that this is like such a good episode. I'm trying to figure out where to go next. So then we kind of get a flashback to. I mean, it's there. Well, there's several flashbacks. Anyways,
With Daryl,
Daryl.
So you said flashback to.
No, there's like. At one point, it literally, like, there's Schwarmy dude, Lance, and he looks like Al Pacino in Scarface, like, just sitting at the table, and then it's like, this was, whatever, 1 week and a day earlier, whatever, I don't remember the time frame, whatever. But it was crazy that there was a lot of flashbacks that kind of go back and forth. So anyways, so the whole point of this episode was Aaron and Gabriel who now I like, and a crazy assassin dude,
Carlson,
go to, they're sent off kind of on a mission. Aaron and Gabriel don't know this guy's back history. So they think that they're just trying to go figure out how to get these people to join Commonwealth, which was so...
Basically, all they have is, you know, whiskey and Mormons in the apocalypse because they're going door to door now recruiting people. So they're going on this mission to save these people, right? And so they get into the building.
Oh my God, if they were like in white shirts and black pants and ties, that would be amazing.
I mean, Carson, if you look at Carson and Jesse, it looked like they were fucking like, hey, we're doing another mission. We're going to get some more people on our side. Like, they were like gung-ho Mormons.
Like super
if they had that little black tie, they'd have been like, hey, you know who Jesus is? Like, you know, totally like the whole Brigham Young thing. So
well, that's it. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's interesting that you said that because there's so much God in this movie. Like Gabriel's actually preaching again. Yeah, right? So interesting.
Isn't it crazy?
That's a good.
And so they bring Gabriel. They bring Gabriel with them to go to. Well, Aaron brings them, recruits them to do this thing, and Carson's acting like this huge, like, oh, it's gonna be great to save all these people. He's acting like this huge, like this mission about saving people.
Yeah.
And like even Jesse's gonna help. And just like like this like 17-year-old like spunky kid ready to save everybody. He's just so numb to what's happening right now.
Shit just goes bad.
So the best. Gabriel looks at this huge apartment complex, right? It's a big apartment complex. It's all locked down. And Gabriel's like, so these people like friendly? Like, oh, we never met them before, but they'll be fine. And Gabriel's like, yeah, these guys aren't friendly at all. Like, we should just go away. He's like, I'm out. I'm out.
it got dark because like obviously Gabriel, like they fight. They have to fight so scrappy all the time. So they're super cautious, kind of rethinking this. They really do get strong-armed into going and figuring out the situation.
Wait, so the soldiers are building camp. They're building like barracks out in front of this place about 100 yards out of the building, 200 yards out. Like, you guys, all soldiers, all these guns are gonna stay here while we walk up there with nothing. Like, what are you like? No, we're not part of this bullshit.
Right.
And the first thing Gabriel does is to take his collar out of his throat. Oh, sorry, out of his shirt. And he goes, "Why are you doing that? We need that's our aspect." He's like, "No, that's how it's gonna go down. I gotta come in there like I'm not some preacher. I gotta come like I'm some normal person. I come like some preacher. They're gonna see something's up." So he's like, I'm going to take this off of here. This is how this goes down. So Carlson's like, okay, I won't say a word. And he just basically goes along with them. But then
then he turns out to be like this crazy assassin dude.
Yeah, like a CIA fucking absolutely.
Like an assassin. Like actually even Swarmy dude calls him an assassin. Oh. So, and that weird dipping of the finger thing in the whiskey is weird.
Well, because he's been sober for so many years.
Don't stick your finger in my whiskey.
He's been sober for so many years. He's like
he just rubs it on his gums type of thing. He just wants the taste of it.
Weird.
Yeah, you should just start drinking.
It was very much a power move. Like I said, we know the guy has like delusions of grandeur about taking over more power from Pamela. But he says all like even the office is dark. It's like it's all behind the numbers, all behind the curtains. It's all shady. Everything he does has to be in the shadows. It can't be.
The whole point of getting the assassin back involved was they lost weapons, right?
Yes.
Like they were overtaken by something. Nobody knows who. They assume it's this apartment complex, warlord people, whatever. And that dude, he was a little Daryl's brother, like very much. That's who he reminded me of. Why can't I think of his name? Merle. Yeah. He very much a little bit of a more kind of like whatever, do your worst to me. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to talk type of situation.
But as the show goes on, I wonder was there ever a drop? I wonder if it was just something he made up You know, it seems like they were all kind of put out there just as like pawns all the time. Like they never made load to any weapons. When they found them, these guys didn't have any guns on them. You know, they only had the weapons already had. They keep making mention of, well, weapon drops. Like, dude, we don't have weapon drop. And even at the top of the building, when he's dropping people off, he's like, you guys don't know where they are either.
Well, they obviously don't have them,
Right.
but something happened. I'm sure it's going to come out, but something happened that makes Lance like actually really kind of scared that he screwed up somehow, and what's your bucket governor is going to find out. So.
Right.
Who knows what the truth is, because they're all a bunch of fucking liars.
So they walk up to this apartment complex full of people, and they drop all their weapons. They get brought in. The door closed behind their back, very Terminus style. Like, what the fuck? Here we go again, right? They get led in with this really big dude, so this dank, dark hallway. People are even inside of it. It's very scary, very tension building.
What's the whole leave your weapon thing?
Yes.
And even Aaron is like, it's too hard.
Yeah, it's kind of a bitch. It's a bitch to take off. They're like, okay, whatever.
Which would end up being really smart, but
They bring him into this room, and the guy that's there also. So we were seeing the guy from T2, like the T1000 guy, the metal one. Now we get to see who was the first John Connor's dad, right? So he's also the warlord there. His name is Ian. Super cool to see his little face from old movies.
You're such a geek.
I am a total nerd.
You're such a geek. No, I didn't say nerd. Geek. You're such a geek.
I'm very geekish. It's
Yes.
not a big deal.
It's endearing. Anyways, sorry to interrupt.
So
But I'm like, wow, he went all Terminator just now.
the first thing you see is like a wall full of heads, right? Well, sorry, I noticed them first off, right? Because I know
So that was very like old kind of governor a little bit too,
governor,
right? Yeah,
very good.
yeah,
But his
yeah.
were in fish tanks, but yeah, this is in the back, and I'm like, what? So, but you couldn't see them, but you just know from the silhouette what they were. I think in the conversation, this guy basically is asking Aaron and the group, like, hey, well, you know where my group is. Where's your group at? Like, oh, you can't know that. Like, so you guys know anything about me? Like, I know shit about you. And he's like, the last people that did this shit to me are up on the wall. Even Bob's up on the wall. They bring the lights over to the wall. It's just a bunch of skulls up there.
Right. So, I mean, that dude, the assassinate plan, we're just going to say that right now. I mean, he was sent there to do one thing and one thing only, whether it was to go back to Lance and be like, okay, it's all taken care of. Whether or not they found the weapons, recover that, it didn't matter. It was so that Lance had something in his back pocket to say, okay, shit happened, but it's taken care of now.
Sure.
But the good-hearted people of, I was going to say Andy, Peter Gabriel, Andy and Peter Gabriel. Aaron and Gabriel, geez Louise, Aaron and Gabriel. So they're the ones, like, when they saw it going down, though, like, they disrupted everything. But what we didn't know at the very time was that there's people. He's got problems, by the way.
What do you mean? Because the wife is like banging some guy in his house and they won't leave?
No, he's got health issues. Like,
I think
he
it's even
can't
worse.
drum anymore.
Do you know that his wife left him and she brought a new guy who's younger than him and lives in his house and he won't make them leave and they won't leave?
He won't make them leave?
He's in love with her. And he doesn't care that she has a new man in their house. They don't, and he lives
Well,
in the
we
house.
should just call him Eugene.
Big time cuck.
Yes.
Anyways.
That's called a cuck.
All right, that was bad. So anyway, so Aaron and Gabriel actually kind of fight off the assassin. Like, they realize this is not good. They think that they have nothing to do with it. I'm pretty sure they're pretty clear that
Yes.
the warlord has nothing and the people have nothing to do with it. So they actually kind of fight back a little bit. Gabriel gets put in handcuffs. Aaron is like hitting people. Like, it was good. The fight back was good. But what we don't know at the time is that there's other people, the rest of the warlord crew is kind of behind the situation. So,
And so when it's all happening outside, Jesse kind of hears like this gunfire. Jesse's ready to leave. He doesn't know what really is going on. And we see a hooded figure walk up to him, very Michonne-esque, right? And he walks up to him and we chose his cape off and it's fucking Negan. He's like, hey, kid, put your weapon down. Like, he's like, where are you going? He's like, oh, we want to get some help. And he's like, who's in there? He's like, a guy with the fucking metal arm and a black pasture. Like, fuck.
it's like, God damn it.
It's Aaron Gabriel.
God damn it.
Fucking part of my threesome. He's like, okay, check us out, guys. Here's a little note. Go to Maggie only. Here's where you're gonna go to. Tell them that Aaron and Gabriel need help now. Go. You know, basically slaps the ass of the horse. The guy takes off, and as he takes off, Dean kind of ducks away, and they shoot the fucking kid like in the shoulder. So he's riding off, and he's got a bullet in him. But he obviously that's the one who sees from the beginning. Jesse, who gives Lydia the book, and Maggie goes that way to meet him.
So I do love that this show just makes me love Negan. Like, I was so against him for the longest time, and
See,
now
you're
you
coming around now.
just can't help it. Like, he's still looking out for the people. He still fucking hates Maggie, but still looking out for the people. Wow, you went in for a second
You
round.
can say when he killed Glenn, as mercifully did. He was looking out for his people then too.
All right, well, now I hate him again. Thanks. It's fine. It's all fine. Whatever. So anyway, so now we learned about, I'm going to call them the apartment people. So we learned more about the apartment people. Negan is actually part of this group. Taking a secondary role for the second time now, which is interesting, but he's still kind of the brains behind the operation. Like, he's always kind of in the background lately. Like, being respectful, giving his 2 cents, whether or not they take it or leave it.
Oh, he's super entrenched. Like he's already like well entrenched by all of them, and I think that it's almost like an alcoholic, right? Well, I think that he'll never be a leader of anything ever again because he knows where it's going to go. He knows where he'll go. Like he likes who he is.
I feel like he is.
He likes who he is, as he likes being a guard. He loves with children. He loves being a person of the people. But I think that now he's been at that level, what his leadership turns into, he never wants to go there again. I think he's kind of atoning for all the shit that he's done by being a worker, by being a helper, and helping everybody out. But he doesn't want to get to that level again because he has seen where it goes. I
kind of disagree. I kind of just think that he's smart about it. Like, he doesn't ever want to be taken to be, like, if he could erase his past, I feel like he would erase his past at this point. But he is always strategically thinking and always trying to offer advice. But at some, like, it would be interesting to see the type of leader he would be now.
Right.
So
I guess we all know he'd be a better leader.
Not
right?
beating people with Lucille and not with an iron.
If you ever met someone who's been alcoholic that's sober, like, oh, you'd probably be really cool having a beer with you now because you know how to not drink so much. It's not how it happens.
But the assassin is probably like the cruelest people thus far. Like, we've met We've met some awful people along this ride, and that dude was like, push.
Oh yeah.
Push, and the fact that you could hear, I almost had to actually like bloop bloop through it.
He's an absolute psychopath. The way he goes from like just like this mission leader, like helping people and super happy to like, I'm just gonna kick you off the back of this wall. And he goes, you don't know anything, do you? Like, I know you don't, but it's okay. And Negan makes mention.
He just wanted the people to see that.
Negan makes mention. He goes, they've just killed all of our best. Like Negan's like knows, like he's like breaking down like the situation. Like, those were our best people. Like, they are all gone now. It's like us and women and children. Like, it's literally just me. Like, he might be the leader now. But
then Michonne Jr. is like, well, yeah, but nobody knows these walls like we do, type of situation, and we'll see how many people die. Whatever. This was a great episode.
Absolutely, loved it.
The last two, a little bit of backstory, whatever. You didn't get screwed. It's fine. This was like Walking Dead at its finest.
Was there any Daryl in this episode? I don't remember.
No. There was not a single, like the past 3 episodes, actually not a whole lot of Daryl. So.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was a really cool episode.
They're too busy like filming their spinoff. So.
And Negan spinoff too is really cool.
Know.
The Negan Maggie spinoff.
It was interesting that they said that Jeffrey Dean Morgan, whatever, that he actually didn't know about the spinoff until like they kind of announced it in the show. So I did see that.
Well, he was upset that he was like, he kind of killed it. Now we make it through the episode. Like, no one knows who's making it through the season. Like, Ezekiel has a big old lump in his neck.
Well, I think they do that because number one, they need follow. I mean, we all here can acknowledge that they've lost a lot of viewership. They've lost a lot of fans over the past 5 years. I would say I'm going to go 5 years. So I think that's their way of making sure that the true fans and the fandom continue to kind of be interested in the show.
But I like the show better after they killed Glenn. I think they killed Glenn.
What is fucking wrong with you?
It made me like it better because they just hold true to the roots. It's like there's like this hard.
I totally want to stick my finger in your drink right now.
If you ever seen the movie Mama, right? Mama was a scary. It was an awesome movie. I loved the movie, and the ending, people flipped out. Hated the ending. People hated it because no one wants to see kids die, right?
My skeleton's gonna poo. My skeleton's gonna poo.
When you stick to your guns and you do what's right, you go to the host material and you make it how it's supposed to be. Like, the people that are true fans, like, respect you more for it. Like, he did the hard thing. It would have been easy to make Glenn live and then kill Negan. Okay, let's make a whole new show. No, they did the hard thing. They stepped to the script, they stepped to the storyline, and they did what they're supposed to do. No matter how much we loved Glenn or didn't love Glenn or whatever, they stuck to their guns.
I don't like you right now. That's what I'm going to say.
Just a little bat.
Anyway. Oh, my God, you're terrible. You're terrible.
I'm just joking.
You're terrible.
Well, let's
Stop it.
you know, that was a good review. Till the next episode is
That
really good
was
too. Can't wait.
Really looking forward to the next episode. Do we have a break here at some point? Like, what's going on? There's like a season 11, part 2, part 3.
Yeah, so
Where are we at right now?
It'll go. So that's 3 parts, 3 equal parts. It's 8, 8, and 8. So at season at episode 16, there'll be another break again. Probably show up in October again. Probably, I'm thinking, like they usually do.
They usually come back in
Fear the
October.
Walking Dead's coming back in I think next month, which is pretty slick because I can't wait till the
We
end of
didn't
the show.
review any of the other last season.
I watched all. They were fucking great. It was such a
Wow.
great season. We will do I will do a recap, re-drinking season,
Re-drinking?
a re-uncapping of the last season.
What just happened?
I made a pun. It's not a big deal.
Oh.
I'm like a host of a show or whatever. It's like
Adorable.
whatever.
Adorable.
It's a big deal for some people. It's
We
not
didn't
here.
get it. We
It's
didn't
just
get it.
normal stuff.
Anyways, that was fun. Maybe we can not wait like a month before we film.
Well, you know,
Life happens.
life, children, T-ball, and vehicles and gas prices.
Fundraising
Jesus.
in nonprofit.
We want if gas goes up any higher, we're going to just do some more virtual stuff. Is that okay, Paul? Paul said it's okay.
I know. Although you're not that far away, by the way.
Good review? Paul, far enough.
Good
Good.
review. Good
I'm the
review.
one that drives.
I apologize, that's crazy. Okay, whiskey review.
That's pretty good.
I do like this.
Welcome everyone back to Walking Out to Whiskey. This is our whiskey tasting portion of the show, and we're doing Spirits of the Apocalypse today, which Shorty got online for us, delivered to her door, or delivered somewhere close to her. She had to pick up.
It did. I had to go pick it up. You have to have an idea if it's going to be delivered to you.
Walking Dead branded whiskey. There's nothing fucking cooler than this, except better tasting whiskey in a bottle. But I liked it.
It's not terrible.
The more I drank it, the more I liked it, and the more she drank, the more she didn't like it.
I know. The more I drank it, the more I needed pickle juice as a bagger.
But you gotta love the tagline. The tagline on the back of the bottle is actually pretty fucking cool.
All right, if I can actually see this. So, an apocalypse has swept the globe, causing the dead to rise and feed on the living. In a matter of months, society has crumbled. There is no government, no grocery stores, no mail delivery, no cable TV. Luckily, there are spirits. But so I bought this bottle because on a future episode when it gets delivered, Sexton has actually which I love Sexton. Sexton has a limited edition Walking Dead whiskey coming out. It's probably just their bottle, but I'm looking forward to it. And this way probably put me over for shipping. But it was, it's appropriate. It's appropriate for the show, so I bought it. I'm actually okay with it. It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
So
You've definitely made me drink terrible shit. This is not terrible.
it's $20, which is awesome. It's a good mixing whiskey.
I paid more for that, but whatever.
The notes that you see that they say on the website are like any bourbon, vanilla, toasted,
You're making it very bubbly.
toasted. Well, Uncle Popcorn will be happy for me.
Popcorn.
So they said it's a toasted caramel. So it's vanilla.
I
Like
didn't
bourbons.
get caramel. I didn't get vanilla.
I don't get much sweet. So this doesn't.
Got earthy.
It's not very.
It's earthy.
A lot of earth tones. So I didn't think this is much of a bourbon, but more of a whiskey. As a whiskey, it's pretty awesome, pretty straight. As a bourbon, doesn't make much sense. So if you're looking for a whiskey, this is probably a good bottle for you. This is very much like a little bit stronger and a little bit more flavorful than a Jack Daniel's. But as a bourbon, it's not so much a bourbon in my regards. But I can't tell them what it's not because if it identifies as a bourbon, that's what it is.
Well, it has a lot of words. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey has a lot of words.
Made in Illinois and then shipped from Idaho. You know how that works
Did you say
out.
Illinois
Yes.
with an S?
Well, there's the S in the word.
Whatever.
Nothing silent or canite. Nothing. Can I use a knife to cut the? We don't play silent letters around here. They're all.
Obviously, it's been a minute till we got to the whiskey review.
Yes.
We went through 3 episodes.
Spirits and ghosts are like the same thing.
Ghost. Awesome.
Cheers to the review.
Cheers to the review. Thanks,
cheers, Paul.
everyone. Sorry, this was a very discombobulated show. We're trying to get back on track. We can't guarantee anything because life happens.
You don't come here. You don't come here for structure. You come here for pretty faces and horrible whiskey, and then me.
Well, when you buy, it's horrible whiskey.
Hand me that box.
Oh, the box. That sounds dirty.
So Paul also has another job today, handing me a box full of Funkos. So the next 4 episodes, we're getting rid of a lot of Funkos that are at my house, and let's see here.
I should have been able to go through this first.
Michonne, this from like 4 seasons ago. These were some money, but I don't collect shit anymore. This is all for you guys. We have Ezekiel.
Oh.
We'll be giving away the next 4 episodes. I got this just last week for you guys. It's a zombie Iron Man. Because come the fuck on. Let's just make some shit up, right?
Yeah, I might be taking that one.
And a fucking Anna Carl, right? This is meat suit Carl.
Wait, what's
this is the
this one?
shit. This is all for you guys. We love you guys.
What's this one?
This Sasha is actually already won by a person with the socks as
Oh.
well. And the young lady who won it, I haven't been to the post office to give it to you yet, but this is yours. So
Well,
everyone can
We
see it and bask
probably
in it.
shouldn't talk about
But
that one.
it's not for them, it's for you.
All
I forget
right.
your name, but you're super cool and classy.
Anyways.
Fun coach for everybody else, but not Sasha because it's already spoken for. But we have some good stuff for you guys. Some very old ones, and they're for you. They're worth some money, and I don't fucking want them. I want you guys to give us likes and subscribes and keep these hits for yourself.
So how do they get a chance to win? We didn't. You just said that they can have it, but how do we get a chance to
Usually,
win?
it's a firstborn child. I want your 23andMe message sent to me, and usually a couple fetuses or whatnot. No, we usually what we do is we say all you have to do is subscribe to our show, like, and leave a comment. And then we look back on our Facebook page. If you are subscribed and you leave a comment, then at random, which means Shorty picks someone's has the coolest pet in their pictures, or like has like a really cool hairdo.
Or you just message me and be like, "Hey, I really like your show." It's
like Mike, fuck, I love your shit.
we take bribes.
Yeah, pretty much Shorty just tells me who to give shit to, and I go mail it. But it's awesome because for once, the postage won't be as much as the fucking Funkos. Because usually I pay more to ship the shit out than the Funkos actually cost. So from now on, yes, actually, that's a good balance. Love you guys.
Welcome to like a little back history of our show, apparently.
Yeah. Well, welcome to doing everything ourselves.
Oh, and let's say this. In the United States, like we're not shipping out of country because we're poor. We're poor people.
P-O-U-R. Like we're poor. We pour shit out of bottles.
No,
That's all we are.
we're also POOR.
But
So-
I'll make sure that if you guys are from out of country or whatever, I have no problem giving you guys like a $10 Amazon gift card. It's the same thing. Sorry guys, none of this shit, but $10 coming to you. For some Spanish, Amazon. You know, if you go maybe in Canada.
What just happened?
In Canada, it's at Amazon A. You know, I definitely wherever you guys have, we will make sure that the website
Canada's like
will get you
French.
$10
$10 Amazon gift card.
or 3 billion rubles at this point,
What
right?
is going on? What just happened? I'm so sorry.
Filming after whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
It gets darker. It gets dark here. The lights just stay on, but it just gets dark inside.
I know.
It's
Oh my god.
Cut.
Anyways,
Thank you guys. Love you guys.
yeah.
See if I got out of here.
We highly suggest actually just a pickleback. Do a pickleback with this one.
with everything. Pepperoni back for the OGs.
Cheers, y'all.
Pepperoni backs.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it now. Just takes half the bottle.
It takes pickle juice.